talking essential oils to a pet professional that may or may not have much experience with it, right? So we're going to just dive in and let's see how this comes. Dr. Susan's a vet and I'm a groomer. So we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about this, and hopefully it'll help you talk to your vet, your groomer, your pet sitter, animal behaviorist, all that kind of thing, so that you can speak with knowledge, but also we want to make sure you guys have a little bit of confidence. So when you walk into the conversation, you are ready to, how do we say this? Like have your valor on, for grounding and courage, and make your decisions very present in the conversation. So how can we talk about this?
Well, from talking to your veterinarian, from that standpoint, I do think it's really, really important that you do let them know, if the veterinarian know that essential oils are part of your lifestyle, and what you've been doing with them. Now, it's, and I know we've talked about this before, but it's a natural knee-jerk, if you will, reaction. If the veterinarian doesn't know anything about it, they're just going to go, whoa, I don't know anything about it, and they're just going to, erring on this side of caution, being safe, rather safe than sorry. Don't do it, is what you're going to hear. And so, but that doesn't mean you want to sit right up there and go, but I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. We don't want to put that kind of, connotation, that kind of energy into it. If the veterinarian is at all open-minded at all, that's where you're going to have a little bit more success. I mean, I've always approached things with, and this is why I've learned so much from my clients. I've also learned what I don't know, and hey, maybe I should go learn about this a little bit more too. Because I mean, one of the tenets that I've always gone by is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if I'm presented with an animal and the owner says I'm doing this, this, and this, and this, I'm like, okay, all right, I write it into the record, and then I do my physical exam. I see what else is going on, and then we kind of put together a wellness protocol. And so, but your healthcare, your veterinarian needs to know that essential oils are part of their life. Whether you're diffusing it, whether you're using it orally, like the Ningxia Red, maybe some other oils orally. And is this just for cats, or this is for everybody, right?
For everybody in general. Yeah.
Okay. So they, if you're using them orally, and maybe have them with you. I know when I have patients patients and their owners come to me, I like to actually see, touch, feel, smell the supplements that they're using, and we may go online and look it up too if I'm not familiar with it. And so again, it's a learning process, and all being a part of the team effort. But if your veterinarian is interested in that and learning more, then that's where you do need to be armed, if you will, with some good resources. Because let's face it, the way that we are trained is from a scientific background. And so letting them know that there is a scientific background, that's where the chemistry, the biology, and the physics, I've done lectures where you tie all that together, because all that is a part of how the oils work. And so Dr. David Stewart's book, it's kind of intimidating because it's yay thick. But to me, it's an easy read. It reads like a novel. He says it so simply. And there's some other chemistry books out there as well. And so having those, or offering it to your vet, and and don't be discouraged, because sometimes we have a lot going on in a working, practicing clinic. There's a lot going on, and I mean, maybe the next one will be in my office. You can see the stacks of stuff I have on my desk, but sometimes it's maybe something that you might just want to photocopy some excerpts. But don't come into a clinic with like a ginormous stack of books and put it on the counter. Had people do that, and you're just kind of going, okay, how much time do we have? When's my next appointment? And this person comes in with this stack of books and goes, here, this is what I know. And I'm like, okay. So just kind of work it into the conversation, but just, don't be judgmental. Hopefully they won't be judgmental, and that we just want it written into the record that this is what we do. And then again, if they have some reservations, because I'll give you another example. I'm not trained in homeopathy. I know a little bit about it. I know a little bit from working with some of my colleagues, and a place where it may or may not be appropriate. And, if need be, and I need to know more, if I got somebody comes in and they're doing all these homeopathic remedies with their pets, I'm going to go, okay, we're going to write into the record, and I'm going to call somebody, because depending on the owner, a lot of times, the internet is a wonderful thing and everybody's reading all this stuff on the internet and they're just piecing it all together, but without looking at the whole picture. How is that going to work with this? How is that going to work with this, like with nutrition, with Chinese herbs, with the essential oils, with, nutritional supplements? How is that all going to be put together? And that's part of the job as a veterinarian, is to, holistic veterinarian anyway, integrative, putting together the whole picture so that everything is working and one isn't canceling out the other. So I do think it's important that you let your pet care professionals know if essential oils are a part of your life and how you've been using it. Again, they may not know anything about it and just kind of go, and may tell you, I don't know, maybe just don't do it for a while. And that's okay. And that's okay to not do it for a while. And, it's all about the overall health and well-being of the pet. And it's teamwork. It's all about teamwork. So what did I forget?
I was just going to say, so if somebody goes to their vet and the first thing out of their mouth is, oh, don't do that, they're very bad for your animals, what, like the person doing it obviously may or may not be new at it. They may have, like for me, if a vet told me that, I'd be like, all right, well, it's time for me to leave. I need to find a new vet. But somebody that's brand new, just got their kit, and they hang out on social media a lot, they're going to see all these fear factors that are put all over saying, don't do this, don't do that, only use this oil, but definitely don't use that oil. And I see it on our group all the time, like giving warnings about tea tree. And, and that might be the vet's only experience with essential oils, is what maybe they saw on an article in this, this link or something that came up. How would you say to somebody, like, if your vet says, it's something I don't know anything about, so let's just avoid it, rather than, oh, it's something I don't know anything about, let me research it, like it's something like you would say, like you're saying, let me research the homeopathy versus, integrating that in with your whole practice. Whereas another vet might say, oh, no, I don't do homeopathy. Like if you go to a traditional vet and that's just something that they don't do.
Yeah. And so depending on what else is wrong, or not necessarily wrong, but depending on what is going on with the pet, again, as an owner, you have a say in how you want to do all this stuff. I really try and not do the white coat thing, that it has to be what the white coat says, but making sure you understand, and that you should make sure you walk out of there understanding why you're doing what you're doing. And if the vet that you're working with doesn't have any essential oil experience, take that into account. And you may have to kind of do it that way for a while without the essential oils. Does that answer your question? Because again, if you don't have anybody else to go to, or a second opinion, I mean, there are other veterinarians out there that have, I mean, there's a lot of veterinarians out there getting to be these days that have a lot of good essential oil experience. And you may want to, you're entitled to a second, third, fourth opinion too. And I mean, these are generally done on a consultation basis. There's a fee with that.
Yep.
You will need to provide all medical records, health history, diet history, vaccination history. We have a bunch of different forms that, that ask some questions that you probably won't be asked in a traditional veterinary practice. But again, that's all part of it, to make sure that everything is getting covered, and so that you understand the whole picture on that. So, essential oils, we're kind of making it our mission to make sure that we don't have that whole fear factor. And I have a couple clinics in my downline that I've worked with, and when I saw on their Facebook page they're posting some of these pictures, I'm like, okay, phone call time. Phone call time. Just because again, maybe not everybody in the practice is on board or has the education and the knowledge and the comfort level, because that's what you should never go against, is your comfort level, the doctor's comfort level, again, because you don't want to be doing anything inappropriate, where one drop in your hand, rubbed together, put on, is going to be a lot safer than dumping on 5 or 6 drops of,
Yes.
of an essential oil in certain situations. So never go outside your comfort level. Listen to your gut and just put it all together. And that's why we keep saying go slow and low.
Yeah, because you can always add to it. You cannot take back.
Yep.
And that's how we met. We met because I needed a vet consultation and I needed more info. And I don't even remember what the topic was back then. It was a long time ago, it feels like. But, my vet was like, I'm not against it, but I know nothing about it. So I don't know what to tell you. And I've always said, when I'm going through something, I know where my line is. I know where I'm comfortable, and then I know where I am not comfortable. And I'm like, I am turning my animal over. It is in your hands. You tell me. I don't know what to do, and obviously you don't go through a traumatic experience or anything and just think your oils are going to be the end all. It's not. You need to go to the vet. We're not telling you don't go to the vet. I have, 5 vets in my world that I rely on, and we do a little bit different things with everybody. Like my last vet, I just got blood work done for Gonzo. He's my Lyme dog, and I went to a newer vet for me to do blood work, and she's like, his blood work is perfect. Keep doing what you're doing. And I'm like, cool. Maybe next time she'll ask me what she's doing, what I'm doing. So it's just building that relationship too. And, showing a book or two and just being like, this is where I'm getting it from. We can't show you the books, but you can easily find them. So, do you want to add anything to that?
Oh, as soon as we quit recording, I probably will.
Oh yeah. Okay. We'll do that. But I was just saying, from a grooming standpoint, it's a little bit easier because we're dealing with, we're not doing skin evaluations or any of that stuff. We can't diagnose anything as a groomer. And if somebody hands me a special shampoo that has way less fillers and SLS and stuff like that than normally I was using, I was always pretty happy with that, just as long as I understood why they were using it. Now in my practice, I find it very hard to use vet shampoos at all if I'm handed to it, because I'm pretty sure what I'm using with my Young Living shampoo is probably pretty amazing. But anybody talking to me about something a little bit different when I was grooming, I was always very open to it, and I would listen, and I would actually go home and do my own homework on that. So, as long as your professional is open-minded, and like Dr. Susan said, you can keep going to the next referral and the next referral. Like I said, I have 4 or 5 vets that I use locally, and depending on the situation. So hopefully this helps you guys and answers this question. And all right, I guess that's it for this one. So stay tuned for the next one.